you everyone for being here. Today I'm going to be talking about the use of artificial intelligence for the better of humanity. Okay, so Tala told it's going to be in different industries, but all these industries will be for the better of humanity. And so I'm going to start first by talking about some projects that we worked on in the application of artificial intelligence in healthcare, one of the most popular domain to apply artificial intelligence. Next, I'm going to be talking about the application of AI in the environmental domain, followed by a small project that we worked on behavioral prediction, to predict the behavior of people. This is very important for marketing. And finally, I'm leaving our little baby till the end, the self-driving car that we're trying to build at USJ, bit by bit. So this will be at the end. AI is a very huge field. Today, I'm going to be talking about a subfield of AI called machine learning. So quickly, what is machine learning? Machine learning is just teaching the computer to do things by examples. It's like a little baby learning how to read, how to recognize objects, how to speak. But the most important thing to do, to be able to teach the computer to do things, is we need samples, we need examples. So learning by examples. So in all our projects, you're going to see a huge amount of data that we are going to be using in order to teach the computer how to do the thing that we want him to do. All right? So teaching by examples. I'm sure you've done this on your cell phone. If you open your gallery and tag yourself in the gallery in one picture, he's going to automatically recognize you in all the pictures. So he learns by examples. All right, so let's start in machine learning. Three main algorithms that are used: support vector machines, artificial neural networks, and the deep artificial neural networks, deep learning. The buzzword, the sexy word, is just artificial neural network, but it is a deep network. All right, so let's start first with our first topic in AI in healthcare. And this is the first project that I'm going to talk about is really a very nice project. When a patient undergoes heart surgery, he must take blood thinning drugs, dawasayalin. And the problem is when the doctor wants to prescribe the dosage, it's a trial and error. So he tells the patient, okay, yalla, for the first week, you have to take one pill every day. So the patient takes one pill every day. At the end of the week, he's going to have a blood test. He measures the INR, which is the level of thickness of the blood, and he's going to see, oh, you don't match your target, you have to change the dosage, try half a pill every day. And for the next week, and they keep doing it for a month, for 2 months, until the doctor finds the exact dosage. So what we did is we developed a neural network that predicts the amount of dosage that every patient must have. And because we used 2 genotypes, 2 genes, so this is a part of precision medicine. So this algorithm works precisely on different people. So whenever if you undergo a heart surgery, the small blood test will give us these 2 genotypes, the CIP2C9 and the VKO-RC1, plus some demographics like your age, your gender, your BMI. If someone has a high BMI, obviously the dose must be higher. All right, so we collected data. We have the patients. And the project here was in collaboration between USJ and AUB-MC. So the medical center at AUB, they provided us with the data, patients, 200 patients, with every patient with the target INR and the correct dosage after all the trials and errors. So we took this data, we built a small neural network. This is a really small neural network. And we taught this network how to predict the dosage. So now we obtained an algorithm to which you provide a mix of data like age, gender, and genotypes. And out comes the dosage, the prescribed dosage. Okay? And the accuracy that we had is an error at the worst case of 8 milligrams per week. We compared our result with linear regression, which is a very simplistic AI, but that's regression. And so 8 milligrams per week is half a pill. So from the first week, from day one, you can get to half of pill of an error from the correct dosage, which was a really breakthrough, a very excellent breakthrough. And we developed a calculator. It's online. You can check it. It is on the AUB website and on the AZIB website. So that was the first project. The second project, OK, so this is just a small table that shows the importance of having these genotypes. The algorithm found by itself that these two genotypes are associated with blood thinners. OK, so this is the result with the genotypes. This is without the genotypes. There is an increase of 39% in accuracy with the genotypes. And this column is without these two genes. All right, so the next project is agitation detection. And this is also a beautiful project. I started this project in my thesis in 2011, and I'm still working on it until now. People that suffer from dementia, Alzheimer's disease, they get agitated for no apparent reasons. They sit in their room, and suddenly they want to break something. They get agitated for no known reason so far. But medical researchers have shown a way to calm them down, and it is done using multi-sensory stimulation. So if you stimulate their 5 senses at the same time, they will calm down very quickly. So what do? They have a nurse with them all the time, and every time the guy or the woman gets agitated, they change the lighting in the room, they put some music, they spray a nice smell. So they try to stimulate the 5 senses at the same time. What was our job? Our job was to try to detect agitation using non-invasive methods. So what did we do? We measured the skin temperature, the skin resistivity, and the heart rate. So we developed a small device, and this is the sensing unit here. And that's the small device. The patient puts it on the chest, and it measures the heart rate. It measures the skin temperature and the skin resistivity. It also controls, via Bluetooth, a small peluche. That's a small whale that moves. It has LEDs. It can spray nice smell, and it has an MP3 player. So what we did is we developed the algorithm to detect agitation. And once we were able to detect agitation, we automatically activated this whale, and the patient calmed down. All right, but the idea here, we need data. We need to collect data. So we used a test, a very, very nice test called the strobe test. So we recruited students at AUB. That project was done at AUB, students from AUB, and students from AZIB also. So we recruited some students, and we told them, right, we're going to have a small test. This test is called the strobe test. A strobe test is a test used to induce agitation safely. I'm sure you know this test. I'm sure you've got this test by email sometime. They ask you to say the color out loud. And so you say red, green, blue, red. Read the color, not the word. Green, pink. OK. All right. Red. And we told them, OK, we're going to pay you $20. And every one that you get wrong, you lose $1. And OK, so the student sits in front of his computer. For the first 60 seconds, he gets only He gets only the first part, which are very simple, just to calm down. For the next 60 seconds, he gets what we call congruent sequence, so the word red in red. OK, so this is simple, OK? And then, boom, he gets this. And so taking $1 for every mistake also adds stress to this. OK, so we collected data. The first 120 samples, we labeled them as not agitated. The next 120 samples, we labeled them as agitated. We collected data from 100 students. And we also got some data from Detroit University. We combined them using support vector machines. OK, and we got a result that was very, very, very interesting. From the 100 patient, we took only 2 patients, the data of 2 patients, to train the model. When you say to train, is to get the model. So we fed the support vector machines these 2 patients, only 2 patients. We learned a model, and from these 2 patients, we were able to predict with 95% accuracy, 95.1% accuracy, for the other 98 patients on every data set. So this is what we call subject-independent agitation detection. A beautiful object. It's a beautiful project, right? Yeah, done from AI in healthcare. Let's go to another topic, AI for environment. The first project that I'm going to talk about is artificial intelligence to predict forest fire in Lebanon. So we wanted to predict forest fires from the weather data, only the weather data. And of course, predicting forest fire makes sense only between the months of May till October, because these are the months that are highly dangerous for forest fires. All right, so we had some sensors from the Ministry of Agriculture. We had sensors in different parts in Lebanon to collect weather data, sun, radiation, humidity, temperature, precipitation. All of these were collected. And we wanted to predict the dangerous, the scale of which this day is dangerous, yes or no. So it's like having the weather forecast. Today is going to be raining in this part and this part. We wanted to say that today in the south, the level of it's very dangerous to. Okay, it's very risky. Yeah, it's very risky. That's the word. Okay, so the risk is very high on this day. The risk is very low on the other day, and we were able to achieve this using the data set that was provided to us by the Ministry of Agriculture. What we were able to do is we were able to take these only 6 features. So the min-max temperatures, the cumulative precipitation, the humidity, the solar radiation, and the wind speed. Only these 6 features we used to create a neural network. This network, well, we created a model for every month. Okay, so every month has a different model. We took the data for May. We trained a neural network with it. We took the data of June. We trained a neural network for it. July, August, September, and October. So we had 6 different models to predict forest fires. And if you are in May, just input your data in the May model. If you are in June, input your data in June model. That's it, right? And what we were able to do, we were able to get 4 different scales. Scale 1 is there is no risk. Scale 2 is a moderate risk. Scale 3 is a high risk, and scale 4 is a super high risk. We were able to train the neural network and get an error of 0.3 classes. 0.3 classes with a very small standard deviation. I did not put the standard deviation here. I don't want to bore you. But the error was very small. So the maximum error we did was over one class. So the algorithm would predict 3, and it turns out to be 4. Or it tells 4, but it turns out to be 3. That was the maximum error. Also, that's an amazing project. We have it on our website. The second environmental project is waste classification from pictures. Okay, that's nice. You go, you throw your garbage, whatever you have, you're eating something, you throw it. It takes a picture of it, and it classifies it directly. Is this a plastic? Is this a metal? Or is it a paper? 3 classes. And the system will take it to the bin, the corresponding bin. We did not build the chaining system to the corresponding bin, but we built the detection system, right? So 4 of my students at USJ, that's exclusive at USJ, 4 of my students spent their time taking pictures of different types of waste, paper, plastic, and metal. They took around 6,000 pictures. 2-3 days of taking pictures. All right, and in this project, we used the deep neural network. We used a deep neural network. The deep neural network, the difference between a deep neural network and the regular neural network is that the deep neural network, it learns the features by itself. So I don't need to tell the network, go look for shiny pixels. And if you find a shiny pixel, then that's a metal. No, it's going to learn by itself, so that every time it finds a shiny pixel, it's going to know that this is a metal. That's the beauty of the deep neural network. So you don't have to handcraft your features manually. It will learn by itself. OK, so we used this deep neural network to train on our 6,000 pictures. We implemented the model on a very small Raspberry Pi. And this Raspberry Pi has a camera. We put it inside the bin. And whenever you open the bin, you throw something in the bin, the lights will turn on. So you close it. The Pi takes a picture, sends it to the model on the Pi. It's not on a server. It is on the Pi. Super quick. In 1 second, it takes the decision, and it will ask the motor to take it to the corresponding bin. We obtained a very, very high accuracy. So we used the AlexNet. That's a network for technical reasons. We obtained around 90% accuracy. So we need to improve it more, but it's good. It's a good starting point. This project was published last year. And per class accuracy, we were able to detect the metal and the paper and plastic, all the three different types with around the same accuracy, which is 90%. It's not that we were able to detect paper 100% and metal 80%. No, the three different types were detected the same with the same percentage. All right, so this is done from the environment. Let's go to the behavior prediction. Behavior prediction. This is related to healthcare, but this is really behavior prediction. And this project was done with my friend, Dr. Hussein Ismail, in AUB-MC, of course, collaboration with Zip. He told me, look, George, whenever I have a patient, he's a cardiovascular doctor. So he told me, I sit with a patient, and I try to convince this guy that salt is very bad for his health. Please stop taking salt. And I talk for around 20 to 30 minutes, and the next, whenever he takes his next blood test, the amount of salt increases in his blood. Taste. So he told me, I want to know from the beginning. I want to ask him a couple of questions from the beginning. Is the behavior of this guy favorable to change on his salt intake, yes or no? All right? So we developed a questionnaire. A questionnaire of, first we started with a questionnaire of 74 questions. It had knowledge questions, attitude questions, and behavior questions. Knowledge questions, for example, do you know what are the foods that contain salt? Is ketchup high in salt? I don't know. And then you ask him also about some attitude. Do you look at your product whenever you buy it? Does it contain salt, yes or no? And also, we also ask him some behavior question. Are you favorable to change to different changes, not only in salt? All right, so we took these questions, and we ran a small artificial neural network on these questions. And we found out that you can minimize this whole questionnaire from 74 questions to 7 questions. 3 of them related to knowledge, and 4 of them related to his attitude. 4 about his knowledge and 3 about his attitude. So you just ask the guy 7 questions. And the neural network model was able to predict his behavior. That's the neural network. So you input are the questions, the answers to the questions, sorry, and out comes the behavior. And we divided these guys into 3 different classes, like the class that are very favorable to change. And this class here is moderately will change. And the last class is they will not change. Okay, at all. خلاص هودي ما توجع راسك فيه. And our network was able to classify the classes with more than 70% accuracy with 0 error, with 0 class error. And the remaining was only with 1 class. We never had a grossly misclassified person. So ولا مرة there was a person that was very favorable to change, and then our network told us that he's not going to change. Okay, that was never the case. And Dr. Ismail was very happy. He's using this model now. He's not wasting his time anymore trying to convince people to change and knowing that they will not. So you can use neural networks for behavioral prediction. But finally, yeah, this is just a small peek on the self-driving car that this is a very small project. It's a very small part of the big project that we are trying to build at USJ. We have 2 PhD students at USJ working with me on this thing. And I will try to present as fast as possible the part that will be presented in London in September. Okay, so this has not been published yet. خلوها بيناتنا. And Facebook. All right, so the car has, all self-driving cars, they have multiple sensors. But the 2 most important sensors are the radar and the LiDAR. The radar is used to detect the speed of other moving objects around us, and the LiDAR is used to detect static objects. So they both use the same thing, but the radar, the radio frequency, you can use the Doppler effect to calculate the speed. But for the LiDAR, you use laser to really identify the objects around you. It's not identify. We try to identify the objects using the LiDAR data, static objects. So that was the first part of the project. You have a LiDAR data. We obtained this data from Civil Maps, which is a company in California. They sent us around 30 gigabytes of LiDAR data. And they told us, OK, fine. This is our data set. And we also had a group of people at their company that started labeling the data set. So this part is, for example, this reflection is coming from a line, a dotted line in the middle of the road. This reflection is coming from a stop sign. This reflection is coming from a traffic sign. So kind of the data was labeled. And they asked us, can you develop a model that takes only the LiDAR data? We don't need cameras. We wanted to eliminate the camera because the camera are sensitive to daylight. And so the LiDAR is not, it's just a laser. So they wanted to predict the static objects only from LiDAR data. And this is what we did. This is the LiDAR image. This is how the car sees. And we wanted, and this is what we did, we put these bounding boxes around interesting objects using only LiDAR data.